Hello everyone, welcome back to MixBus TV, mixing and mastering tutorials on YouTube. Today, I hope an interesting video for you. I will give you 10 absolutely free must-have plugins that you can use on Pro Tools or in any other DAW. Some of them are AAX, RTAS, and some other are VST. And since we are at it, I'm gonna introduce you to how to use VST plugins inside Pro Tools. Some of you probably already know, but some other might don't. And we are gonna actually have a video dedicated to how to use VST inside Pro Tools, but today I will give you just an introduction. So let's start it. The first plugin that I'm gonna show you is by Softtube, and is called Saturation Knob. Well, not much to say about this, aside from the fact that it sounds very good and is absolutely free. This plugin is just one knob that increases the amount of saturation and 3 types of saturation: keep high, neutral, and keep low. And keep high, the plugin doesn't affect the high frequency. In neutral, it just saturates the whole spectrum, and keep low is very, very nice. Is my favorite actually. The saturation doesn't affect the low end, and this is actually very useful because most of the time when you apply saturation, the low end is the first one that craps out. So let's take a listen to it on drums. This is neutral. Keep high. And keep low. Okay. A little more subtle. Okay. So this is not going to be a video on every specific plugin and how to use it and how they sound. It's just an overview. The second one is by a company called Bose Digital Labs, and the plugin is, again, absolutely free, and it's called the Bark of Dog. Is pretty much the same that another brand actually sells for quite a bit of money. Is a resonance filter for the low end, and it's very, very nice. Technically what it does is it cuts the sub lows at the frequency you set this control here, and it resonates. And up here with this control, you control the amplitude. So quick listen to it. And it also has a mix knob, which is always useful. I like it a lot on kick drums, and bass is actually pretty nice on heavy guitars if you know, experiment with it a bit. So absolutely free and very, very useful. The next one is called Glitch. And what this one does is pretty much everything you can possibly think about. Is pretty much very similar to the iZotope Stutter Edit. It has 10 modules, and each module is an effect. So tape stop, modulator, retrigger, shuffler, reverser, crusher, gator, delay, and stretcher. You can program it. You have plenty of pattern banks and templates and randomize and steps and everything, and this is very, very creative, completely free plugin. And I actually used it in my remix that I did for Ladytron, the Runaway single, and also, if I don't remember wrong, for the remix for Felix the Owlscat Silver Screen. And I use it. I use it a lot. And now, just to show you what the plugin can do, I put it in random. Actually, this is the factory default, and we're gonna hear it on drums. Okay, so pretty crazy, absolutely free, and you can obviously program all these modules with any effect you want. And again, it will do crazy stuff. Absolutely free. All the links to these plugins are going to be in the description box below, so check that out. Next one is the BRAINWORX Solo. Another extremely useful plugin is a stereo widener, and also allows you to monitor the mid and the side, and also the left channel and the right channel, or swap the two channels. So it's very useful for, you know, checking sides and mids or split stuff, but also for just simple stereo widening. Let's take a listen. Okay, just the mid and just the sides, and you can monitor each channel solo. I actually like this very much because the way in which it opens up the stereo width, I find it different from any other plugin, any other similar plugin. So again, free from BRAINWORX Plugin Alliance. Check this out. Next one is probably not going to be so sexy to check out, but I can assure you this one is one of the most useful plugin you can possibly have in your arsenal. And I know it sounds weird when you see it, because it's just a fader. But if you never used it, man, this plugin is saved my life so many times. It's by Sonaxis and it's called Free G. Again, free. And what it is just a fader that has a trim, a fader, a pan control, and is very useful because it has a peak indicator and an RMS indicator. Also, you can flip the phase, you can bypass it from here, you can mute the channel, and you can fine-tune the fader. So if you look at the scale here, when you go from normal to fine, see the scale is wider, so you can really adjust volumes. But what I find it useful for is for automation. Let's say you already have, you know, your track, and I usually put this on groups. You have your tracks, you have your levels. With this one, you can automate the output of, you know, every track. And sometimes when you have an automation on Pro Tools, let's say, like, for example, I already have in this mix, which is not mixed, see, automation on the volume, and you want to automate the level of the track. You don't want to move the volume here in Pro Tools. Well, you automate this, and you're good to go. So it's a very useful plugin. Again, it has some controls on the back. Most people don't know that, but you know, in default mode, you can start it in fine and normal. You can fine range the dB range, trim range, and you can also adjust the ballistic to, you know, digital, ppm, VU, and BBC. The pan law is also adjustable. The mute button, you can decide to flash your steady LEDs and everything. else, and save actually your preset as default. So this is 3G by Sonoxys. There's not much to hear on this one. If not, it's just a volume fader and a trim. Very useful plugin, Sonoxys 3G. And then the next one is by Blue Cat Audio and is a frequency analyzer that is absolutely free, is absolutely great. The interface is resizable, as you can see. It goes pretty big, and it's very nice to have it this big. You can freeze, bypass it, and you can change opacity, and you have a bunch of controls here: the precision, the speed, the attack and release time, the peak reset. I set it at 5 dB. You have the threshold for absolute and relative, and is very, very nice. It's absolutely free from Blue Cat Audio. Okay, and actually check out Blue Cat Audio sites, because I'm just showing you this one, but they actually have a whole bundle of free plugins. There are like 8, and there's chorus, there's EQ, and it's insane that they are free. But yeah, check out the Blue Cat Audio page. That you will find a bunch of free plugins, great plugins, all in pretty much any format you can possibly think about: VST, AAX, RTAS. So, and Blue Cat Audio is what allows us to run VST plugins inside Pro Tools, and here we are. So the next free plugins that I'm showing you are VST, and I'm running them through the Blue Cat Patchwork, and this is brilliant. It actually allows you to run VST inside Pro Tools, and since we all know, like, there are not many RTAS or AAX free plugins, while there are many great VST plugins, and Blue Cat Audio Patchwork is the way to run them inside Pro Tools. We're gonna have a video showing you in details how to use the patchwork. For now, I'm just gonna show you the free plugins we are talking about. So the first one is a limiter, is called limiter number 6 from Vlad G. Is probably my favorite limiter plugin, regardless the price. It has a compressor in the first module, a limiter. This is my favorite module because you can run it in multiband, MS, and soft clipping or brick wall, and it has 5 different modes. Threshold, it sounds amazing. If you want to go loud, learn how to use this plugin. It will get you loud. Then it has a HF limiter. It stands for high frequency limiter, so it's kind of a de-esser. It's very smooth. It's very smooth. Is actually very good sounding. A clipper section and a last output protection section that you can adjust in different ways. It has oversampling up to 4, and you can change the signal path, compressor, limiter, limited compressor. Well, again, I'm not gonna go into details on each and every plugin. I'm just showing you. This one is actually crazy that it's free, because again, regardless of the price, is one of my favorite plugin of all time. Check it out. The next plugin that we are gonna see is by Variety of Sound, Bootsy, and it's called Ferric Tds. This one is another plugin that is like unbelievable, that is free. Is a saturation plugin, a tape emulation plugin. Is very easy to dial in. It sounds absolutely great. Try it on kick drum, try it on drums, and thank me later. It has a dynamic control and a saturation control, trim, an input trim, and a recovery and a limiter. The recovery time is for the dynamic, and the limiter is the last stage. 2 types, the modern and the classic. It changes the frequency response of it, and a sidechain, actually, in an internal sidechain. So let's hear it pretty quick on drum. Okay. Without it. With. And this is just a dynamic. And as you can see, I'm bypassing the plugin from here, from the Blue Cat Audio Patchwork. That is just, and again, it's crazy. We're going to talk about it in details, but you can actually see on one instance of the patchwork, you can load how many VST you want. You also have a parallel chain, and you can solo the plugins, you can switch the phase, and you can turn on and off individual plugin inside one instance of the Blue Cat Patchwork. It's just very useful. So again, let's go back to our Ferric. Just a dynamic. Let's add saturation. As you can see, I'm pushing it hard, but it's still musical. It's subtle as an effect. It doesn't go into like full-blown distortion, and this is actually why I like it. Little sidechain, and this is the meter for the limiter. Like, it brings the drum up front and alive. It sounds very good. Try it also on vocals and on bass guitar. It's just very, very good. Next one is, once again, from Variety of Sounds from Bootsy, and this one is an EQ, and it's called Boot EQ. You have an amazing sound in EQ, very smooth, very musical, and also a preamp section. When you can drive it, the tube saturation that has two modes, vintage and modern, low frequency, gain or cut. And for now, we'll just bypass the preamp section. I will just have you hear the highs, just a little boost. If you go with a very wide Q, like very sweet sounding. But one of the reason, I gotta be honest, one of the reason I wanted to show you this plugin is because it has one preset that is just insane. Just try it. Actually, you can open preset directly from the Blue Cat Audio Patchwork. If you click here, you find presets, and the one I'm talking about, and I don't use presets ever. I hate presets on everything, but this is crazy. It's called Sub Bass Boost, and what it does technically the Pultec trick. So here's without it. Listen to the kick drum. The saturation is actually pretty smooth, but it's nice, and just experiment with it, and you will find it very useful. Next one is again from Variety of Sound from Bootsy again, and it's Baxter EQ. So this is technically the free version of the well-known Bondaxal EQ from Dangerous Bus. And there's not much to say about this. It has an MS feature, meaning you can unlink the channels and EQ differently the mid and the side. It has a very, very sweet sounding filters, probably among the best regardless the price, and you can do any kind of trick on the low end with this one, and also a very sweet sounding high EQ and high band. So I'm just okay. If you want to open up the sides a bit. Without it. Okay, this drum is not mixed. Nothing here is mixed. These are just raw tracks, so it's just to show you the plugin, the interface, and everything. So this is it for today. These were the 10 must-have free plugins that, you know, I use every day, and I hope you find them interesting and check them out and let me know in the comments. There are gonna be more videos on free plugins. There are not all of them, there are many. And also a video in details on how to use the Blue Cat Patchwork to run VST plugins inside Pro Tools. Do yourself a favor, invest those 50 or 60 bucks that costs this plugin, because you will be able to run a bunch of very good sounding free VST inside Pro Tools. So this is it. Please like and subscribe, and see you next time.